Okay, so hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In this video I thought I would talk about something that's kind of the main point of my channel. Basically, I'm going to talk a bit about how I taught myself gymnastics. A lot of the content on this channel is about me teaching myself gymnastics. Like, I have a lot of videos that just kind of talk about how to get over mental blocks on your own or how to learn a specific skill on your own, and all of those are kind of based off my own experiences from learning gymnastics by myself. And I just kind of wanted to explain, first of all, why I taught myself gymnastics and also how. So I'm just going to get right into it by starting off and telling you why I did it. Because a lot of you are probably thinking like, why wouldn't I join a gymnastics team to learn it or something like that instead of trying to teach myself everything? And my first reason for that was because I simply just wanted to learn a few skills. If you've seen my video about my gymnastics journey, I explained that the reason I got into wanting to learn gymnastics in the first place was just because I saw a video on the Instagram Explore page of someone doing gymnastics and I thought it looked cool and I wanted to do the skills that that person was doing in the video. I kind of just wanted it to be a very small side hobby. And that's just kind of how it started. So I started to practice a few simple skills. Like, some of the easier skills in gymnastics are pretty easy to learn and you can learn them if you just practice them a few times because they're not very scary. And then when I got into the harder skills, of course, it became a lot harder. And still today there are a lot of skills I can't do. But that is sort of my reasoning. Basically, I didn't really want to commit to gymnastics that much. I just kind of wanted it to be a small hobby. But I was still so fascinated by all of these different skills that people could do. And I got really inspired, so I did want to learn, but I didn't want to take it very seriously. So that is why I taught myself gymnastics. And let's get into how I did it. This section of the video, I guess it's going to be kind of like me giving you tips if you too want to learn gymnastics on your own. Let's get right into this as well. The first thing I'm gonna say is to obviously start simple. I know this is something that I thought about when I first started. I mean, I wanted to be able to do a back handspring so bad, but you can't start by practicing a back handspring. You need to do the easier skills first. You need to level up slowly instead of just trying the hardest skill ever, just starting. Because first of all, your body needs to build up the kind of gymnastics strength you need to do the harder skills, and you need to work on your flexibility before you can do skills as well. And most importantly, you need to get used to some movements that are included in those harder skills by doing some of the easier versions of those skills. So what I started with, for example, was doing cartwheels, handstands, bridges, and then kind of back walkovers, front walkovers. A lot of just the basic, really basic skills. Because when you look at more advanced skills, they consist of these easier skills, just a lot more intimidating and a bit scarier to do. That is why it's so important to have these easier skills as a foundation. You will be able to do those harder skills, but just take it a little bit easy and start with the simple foundations. The next thing that I did was stretching. I stretched a lot because that was another thing that I felt was kind of an easy part of learning gymnastics on my own. It was stretching and building flexibility, because stretching exercises, they're not very hard to do. So I just made sure to stretch every day and also try to go into the splits every day, things like that, just to keep the stretching very consistent. Because when I had mastered the flexibility a little bit, I noticed that I could do more fun skills, or skills that looked better. For example, these kinds of handstands. I can insert a clip here. Instead of just normal handstands, I could take my flexibility and apply it to my skills, and I really liked how that kind of improved my skills. And of course, flexibility is super important if you want to further your gymnastic skills, because you need to be able to bend a lot of parts of your body, especially for the harder skills too. You need to feel confident in your flexibility if you want to be able to do skills. So stretching is something that I did or tried to do every day, and it's actually a really important part. And now I'm getting a bit more into specifics. Those two things were kind of the most generalized important things to think about if you're trying to teach yourself gymnastics. These are more like some specific cases that I noticed that when I did these things, my ability to learn became a lot better. So another thing that really helped me in my gymnastics journey was getting a mat. I kind of always wanted an air track. I think those are really good for practicing gymnastics if you have the possibility to get one. Almost like a mix between a trampoline and a normal soft mat. But I didn't have an air track. I, however, bought one of these IKEA mats. Literally just a softer kind of surface to practice on. And I usually practiced on like grass surfaces, which is pretty good too, but having that little like extra cushioning of that mat, it made me feel more confident, because at the time I got that was when I started wanting to practice more difficult skills, because I had the basics down at that point. That's kind of something I always tell people when they like ask me in the comments like what should I do, I'm so scared of doing these like harder skills. I always tell them to practice on a soft surface, because that just, you feel so much more safe. It helps a lot. The next thing is like, unavoidably you need to do this. It's to watch tutorials, like gymnastics tutorials on all the skills you try. You should probably watch a tutorial first, and I'll probably link my tutorial playlist on the screen right here if you want to check out some of my tutorials. But anyways, you need to watch a tutorial before trying a skill, because you need to know like how to actually do it safely. A tutorial usually consists of a lot of different parts. It's about breaking up the skill into different parts, and in any skill you shouldn't just try to jump into it immediately. You should break it up into smaller parts. So if you want to do a skill, watch a gymnastics tutorial, see how they do it, and just like follow those steps. Anyways, tutorials are a really good resource if you're learning gymnastics on your own. And you should also just like always try to be safe when practicing. Try to not break your neck or your back. Insert a clip here of me falling when doing a back handspring. I have a lot of these clips, but and that would be worse if I landed on my neck, which I didn't, but I could have landed on my neck. Basically, landing on your neck is probably the most dangerous thing, so just try to avoid that. And if you want to, have someone with you that can spot you. Like if you're practicing a back handspring, I'm always using a back handspring as an example. But that's because that's like the basic skill that's like scary. Anyways, have a person with you that can spot you, like hold your back when you're doing a back handspring. And this is also something that you would get if you were to join a gymnastics team. I know that it's a lot better to join a gymnastics team, like to get a safer procedure in all of this, but yeah. And my last point, I guess it's kind of similar to the thing with practicing your flexibility and stretching often. It's to work out, continue working out, and don't just stop working out because you're starting to practice gymnastics instead. Continue to just build up your strength, because that is needed for all skills in gymnastics, and it's needed in every part of your body. So like every little muscle in your leg needs to like build up its strength, and also of course your arms, your back, everything. So just don't stop working out. Continue to build your strength. That is very important. You will see results so much faster if you do that. And I feel like I have more to say, but that was actually everything I wrote down, and right now I can't really come up with anything else to tell you. But I can definitely make a part 2 of this if you would like that. Let me know if you would like that. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was a good explanation of my kind of learning process in this. Let me know if you have any questions. Just ask me below. I answer every comment. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, like this video. And again, just thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in my next video.